Do you think speaking louder or saying more will make people listen to you? Think again. Respect doesn't come from the volume of your voice or the number of words you use. It comes from how you speak. Have you ever felt ignored in conversations? You share your thoughts, but no one really listens. It's frustrating, right? But here's the truth. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you have nothing valuable to say. It's because the way you present yourself lacks impact. The good news, you can change that. In today's video, I'll break down powerful communication principles inspired by Stoic philosophy principles that will make people stop and listen when you speak. Get ready to transform the way you communicate. But before we dive in, if you're serious about self-improvement, hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on life-changing insights. Now let's get started. Let's get 1. Starting when one apologizes unnecessarily. Over-apologizing is one of the most insidious, silent killers of respect. Many believe that saying, "I'm sorry," is a polite way to express regret or show consideration for others. However, apologizing when you haven't done anything wrong only undermines your credibility and conveys uncertainty. For instance, imagine walking into a meeting a couple of minutes late and your very first words are, "Sorry, I'm late." In that split second, you position yourself as the problem, diminishing your authority even when external factors like unexpected traffic or a previous meeting's overrun might have been the true cause. Instead of apologizing, consider saying, "Thanks for waiting." Such a simple shift not only acknowledges the situation, but also asserts confidence and control. This isn't limited to formal settings. Think about those everyday moments, like when you're navigating a crowded hallway and someone accidentally bumps into you. The natural impulse might be to say, "Oh, sorry," as if you were to blame for simply being present in a shared space. Over time, this habitual response trains both you and those around you to believe that your very existence is somehow an inconvenience. This pattern even extends into your written communication. Emails filled with "sorry for bothering you," or messages beginning with "sorry, can I ask a question?" inadvertently project self-doubt and signal that your contributions might be unimportant. I remember a time when during a meeting I was interrupted, and without even thinking I blurted out, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead." That moment forced me to reflect deeply on why I felt compelled to apologize for circumstances beyond my control. From that day forward, I made a deliberate choice to pause and ask myself, did I actually do something wrong? Only if the answer was affirmative would I offer an apology. Otherwise, I rephrased my response to reflect confidence and assertiveness. 2. Setting boundaries and sticking to them. Respect starts with self-respect. And one of the clearest ways to demonstrate self-respect is by setting clear boundaries and rigorously enforcing them. When you consistently say yes to every request, even those that drain your energy or overextend your capacity, you inadvertently communicate that your time and priorities are less important than those of others. Think about the times when you've agreed to tasks simply because you didn't want to upset someone, or when you've accepted invitations you had no genuine interest in just to avoid seeming uncooperative. Each of these moments chips away at the respect you command. Instead of apologizing for not being able to accommodate every request, practice asserting your limits. For example, if a coworker tries to offload a last-minute task on you, instead of saying, "Oh, sorry, I can try to fit that in," confidently state, "I won't be able to take this on right now. Let's figure out another solution." By defining and enforcing your boundaries, you teach others that your time and energy are valuable, and in doing so, cultivate a reputation that demands respect. 3. Mastering the art of pausing. Another critical element of effective communication is understanding the power of silence, the art of pausing. In our fast-paced world, many of us mistakenly equate constant talking with competence. We rush to fill every moment of silence, fearing that a pause might be interpreted as a lack of knowledge or confidence. However, speaking too quickly or overloading every gap with words can actually dilute the impact of your message. message. A well-timed pause allows your audience to absorb your ideas, reflect on what you've said, and ultimately, engage more deeply with your message. Imagine presenting a crucial point in a meeting. If you hurry through your thoughts without any pause, your audience may miss the essence of your argument. But if you make a deliberate effort to pause after each key point, you give your listeners the opportunity to process and appreciate the weight of your words. I recall a time early in my career when I believed that the more I spoke, the more competent I would appear. It wasn't until a mentor pointed out that I was overwhelming my audience that I learned to value the power of a well-placed silence. Today, I intentionally slow down, allowing each point to resonate, and I've seen firsthand how this simple technique transforms the way people respond to me. 4. Using humor wisely without diminishing your credibility. Humor, when used appropriately, is a potent tool in communication. It can break the ice, diffuse tension, and make your message more memorable. Studies have shown that a touch of wit can make you seem more relatable and even more competent in the eyes of your peers. However, there is a delicate balance to maintain. Over-relying on humor, or worse, using it as a shield to deflect from serious points, can undercut your credibility. If every remark you make is laced with jokes, people may begin to see you as someone who is not serious or reliable, a perpetual entertainer rather than a thought leader. The key is to use humor strategically. Ask yourself, is your humor adding value to the conversation, or is it distracting from the point you're trying to make? Avoid excessive self-deprecating humor. While a bit of humility can make you more approachable, constantly undermining yourself with jokes can signal that you don't truly believe in your own competence. I learned this lesson early on when I'd crack jokes to mask my nervousness during presentations, only to find that my message lost its intended impact. Today I use humor sparingly, ensuring that it supports rather than overshadows my core message. Timing, tone, and relevance are essential. When used correctly, humor elevates your presence. When misapplied, it can be your undoing. 5. Dropping the gossip. Gossip is another habit that silently erodes respect. There's an almost irresistible lure in sharing snippets of information about others, whether it's about their personal lives, their habits, or their mistakes. While gossip might seem like an easy way to bond with others or to appear in the know, it invariably undermines trust. When people see you as someone who talks behind others' backs, they're less likely to trust you with their own thoughts and vulnerabilities. I once found myself drawn into casual gossip at work, sharing little details about colleagues that, in hindsight, served no constructive purpose. It wasn't until I overheard my own name being discussed in a similar context that I realized how damaging this behavior was. The most respected individuals are those who speak with integrity and focus on issues that matter rather than engaging in idle chatter. Instead of gossip, choose to elevate your conversation. Redirect discussions that veer into negative territory by asking thoughtful questions or changing the subject. When you commit to not engaging in gossip, you not only protect your reputation, but also cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships with those around you. 6. Knowing when to stop talking. Perhaps one of the most counterintuitive yet essential principles is learning when to stop talking. In our eagerness to be heard, many of us fall into the trap of over-talking, over-explaining, and filling every moment with words. But here's the truth. Sometimes saying nothing at all is the most powerful statement you can make. When you speak at length without pause, you risk diluting your message to the point where it becomes background noise. The more you talk, the less impact each word carries. I used to believe that in order to be persuasive, I needed to provide an endless stream of details. It wasn't until a particularly long-winded explanation in a meeting, followed by a pointed comment from my boss, You had them hooked in the first 30 seconds, but then you lost them. That I realized how counterproductive my approach had become. Now I consciously practice brevity. I make my point clearly and then allow silence to give my words the room they need to resonate. Whether in professional settings or personal conversations, knowing when to stop talking is a mark of true confidence. It signals that you trust your ideas and that you value the quality of your contributions over their quantity. Final thoughts. Commanding respect through intentional communication. Commanding respect through your words isn't about being the loudest or using the most words. It's about speaking with clarity, purpose, and conviction. By eliminating unnecessary apologies, setting firm boundaries, mastering the art of the pause, using humor judiciously, steering clear of gossip, and knowing precisely when to stop talking, you transform not only the way you communicate, also the way you are perceived. When you begin to incorporate these principles, you'll notice a profound change. People will start listening more intently, they'll value your input, and best of all, you'll begin to see yourself in a more confident light. Remember, the journey to commanding respect starts with a single intentional step. It begins when one decides to transform their communication style, not by adding noise, but by refining every word until it carries the full weight of your true self. So ask yourself, which of these principles will you work on first? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this message with someone who could benefit. And if these insights have resonated with you, like and subscribe for more game-changing strategies. Own your space, speak with conviction, and never feel the need to shrink yourself for anyone. Your words are powerful. Use them wisely and watch as respect follows naturally.